selling shirts out of my backpack, and I kind of felt like a drug dealer. So every
It's the Life After High School podcast.
Are we starting now?
We're giving her. We're going.
There you go. It's awesome.
Let's do it, brother. So, welcome
Thank
again.
you so much for having me.
Yeah, dude. Anytime. I'm glad it was this time I'm able to get you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm curious. What was your transition like from high school to kind of where you are about at now, and with everything from the business to the school, and what was that transition kind of like for you?
Yeah, I graduated high school, and ever since grade 9, I always knew like the program I wanted to go to. My brother took the same exact took the program. It was sports administration at Laurentian, and I always loved sports, and I always loved sports, and I kind of like business, and I knew I couldn't be like an athlete, so to say, but I knew I could be involved in sports in a different way. So that's when the kind of business side of sports came in, and sports administration was kind of like that match made in heaven for me. Nice. So I applied to that. I luckily got in, and I didn't really have a backup plan, so I'm glad that happened. And after I graduated high school, I did that, and with the whole brand, when it all started, I started my second year university. It's kind of funny how it happened, because it was kind of like a hobby of mine. I always loved fashion, and I love business, because I was going for the business degree in school. So I kind of put the two and two together, and at the time I told myself, like, I'll start a business because I don't really have anything on my resume, so this will help me get a real job. And then this really became my real job. So it's kind of funny how it works out. Yeah. But ultimately, like, it was kind of a snowball effect. Like so I started in my summer of second year university, and then I started selling clothes like January of my third year, and it was kind of like just word of mouth, I guess. And I guess I just wanted to kind of create something to allow people to be a little more positive and trying to make the world a better place. And it's all about kind of helping people realize their full potential and go for what you want in life, and dream big and work hard and never give up and persevere, I guess. And no matter what your limitations are, you can achieve anything. You just gotta believe in yourself and believe in your abilities and utilize your resources and surround yourself with the best people possible. And that's kind of what I wanted to portray with the clothing line. And I was lucky enough that it kind of caught on. And I tell this story a lot, but kind of everyone laughs at me when I say this. But when I started, I was only selling shirts out of my backpack, and I kind of felt like a drug dealer. So every time I would go to school, I would load my backpack full of T-shirts and different things like that, and I would sell them to friends in the library or people at school, or people would send me messages saying they want a shirt. So I sometimes I would leave my books at home so I could fit more T-shirts in my backpack, and maybe that wasn't the best academic choice, but it all worked out in the end, I guess. But I guess word kind of got around, and it just kind of grew from there. And after school, after Laurentian, I went to Cambrian. I did a post-diploma program in human resources.
Oh, cool.
And that wasn't really for me, but it was lots of fun, because I was able to be in class with one of my best buddies every day. So
nice. There you go.
It was lots of fun in that regards. But and I wanted to take the brand a little more seriously afterwards, because I didn't really have. I did some placements and stuff like that, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. And so I decided to sign a contract with the New Sudbury Shopping Center. Nice. So I had a kiosk there for about 5 months, and then I did consignment sales, and then I did that for about 8 months, and now I have the retail store on LaSalle. So it's going to be 3 years on August 25th. So.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's
congratulations, dude.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's cool to kind of see it all come to fruition, and have my own store, and I have the online store too. So that's keeping me busy as well.
Yeah, I bet.
That's something I had to adapt with the whole pandemic. That I always had the online store, but it wasn't very good, because I never really concentrated a lot on it, right?
Right, you didn't need to, maybe.
Yeah, and I didn't really know what I was doing either, and it was kind of a little confusing sometimes, and it was hard to kind of balance both, but
as it would be, yeah.
With this whole COVID-19 and pandemic, it gave me the time to kind of sit back and learn a lot more. And when this whole pandemic started, I did a lot of research, and people said, don't sit back and try to adapt, right? And don't use it as a vacation.
Right.
And keep moving forward and try to utilize the momentum and keep going. And that's kind of what I tried to do. And with the online store, it's going really well. So
nice.
Now I have kind of both going at full forces. I can't complain.
Nice. Well, there you go. It's almost like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've heard a few people in business say exactly that, where it's it's a blessing in disguise. They were able to focus. They always wanted to shift to online a bit, or if they didn't already have it, or like you in this case, you have it, but maybe not able to funnel all your resources there, where you have the store and everything to manage, but then when they say, hey, you can't have the people in, well, blessing in disguise. Let's take care of this opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
make the most of that. Nice. Nice. So now what I'm curious about is, what were the steps that you went through to imply it from being an idea to implicating that idea into a brand that now I'll see photos of people, because you'll share the photos when people post, and we'll get to this, but I'll see photos from Germany, Africa, everywhere, people just representing.
Yeah, it's very, very, it's an honor to be able to, have people take photos from all over the world, and it feels so cool, and it's so cool to see, the brand go to different places, right? But everything kind of starts with an idea, right? And it's something really, really small, but I think when I first started, I did a lot of research, and I reached out to a lot of different people in the industry.
Nice.
And some people got back to me, some people didn't. But
globally?
No,
or
just
locally?
Throughout the country, I guess.
Okay, nice.
And different things like that. I asked a lot of questions with people who did it beforehand, and people who are in the industry, and how to start, and what to do, and kind of have people to kind of show me along the way, kind of thing.
Get your mentors that way.
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly. And
super cool.
I think what really helps too is have a good supporting system around you. I'm so lucky to have great parents and family and all my best buddies, and they're always there to kind of support me and kind of lift me up if I get down, or lift me up, or whenever I need help. I always know I have people around me to kind of help me and keep going and kind of be reassuring, and just having positive reinforcement. It always helps, and I think you can't do it all alone, right? And, whenever I do talks and different things like that, I always mention that it's you have to have a good support system and have a good team around you, because when you think about good sports teams, you can't win a championship just with one player, right?
Right.
You need people around you to surround yourself and come together as a cohesive unit, and everyone has different skills and stuff like that, and everyone kind of comes together to create something special. But you have to be your own MVP, your own team, right? Because if you don't believe in yourself, or how do you expect others to believe in you? So I think that's kind of what's really helped me get to where I am today, is good people around me, and people who help me feel good as well.
Nice. And you find, so you took that advice and mentorship from a lot of those people in the industry, and you kind of made your process, and then you funneled it into selling out of your backpack, and then slowly building. Yeah.
It was kind of like a snowball effect. I always reinvested into the business, because at first it was kind of a hobby, and different things like that. But I just reinvested in it, created new collections, new ideas, and different things like that, new products. When I first started, I only had 4 shirts, so I had 50 of every, so I had 200 shirts essentially, and then I would just sell those and reinvest in the business and come out with new T-shirts, and then I introduced hoodies, and then I introduced hats, and then a women line, and different things like that, and it kind of just slowly built, and then to where it is today, I guess.
So what do you attribute that to? What do you attribute that to? Because what is the reason for that success growing that way? It going from selling only a few out of your backpack to women's line, hoodies, everything.
Yeah, I think I guess I think people kind of like the idea, right? And people kind
100%.
of believe in it, right? And I think it's so relatable to everyone, right? The inception, it means like the start at the beginning of something. So whenever you want to start something or do something new, or if you want to help someone, you always have to have their best interest in mind, and you always have to have positive thoughts and positive intentions, and different things like that. But I think the great thing about the brand is, like, now that I see it grow more and more, it's not just about what I think. People have different perceptions of what the brand is, right?
Right.
And like, I get messages all the time saying like, I suffer from depression, and when I wear your clothes, it makes me feel better. Or I was having a really shitty day, and when I put your hoodie on, it made me smile.
I just
seeing the word positive, it's like it clicks in your mind to kind of switch your train of thought. Right? Yeah. And like, I had a buddy the other day saying like, whenever I wear clothes, I would always wear it for a big exam or different things like that. And it brought me a bit of luck, but it also said like, be positive that you can do it. You're gonna get past this, and like it's just kind of a motivating aspect to it, right? And to do your own thing, and I think that's what's so special about the brand. It's different for everyone.
Absolutely, and I think, man, that's so cool that people will tell you that. Yeah, that's so cool. How it must feel amazing.
That's kind of why I do it, right? And just to kind of be a role model as well for people. And one of my favorite stories is like when I first opened up the store. There was a girl that came in, and she was looking around, and we started talking, and she says she was telling me about her nephew has cerebral palsy just like me, and she said like he's 7 or 8. I think 7 at the time, and she was like, well, he's really into sports and different things like that, and there was a lot of similarities between him and I, and she said, like, you're my hope that he's going to turn out okay, and just that being that kind of, like, have that kind of impact, and seeing what I can do, you know, and being a role model for maybe kids with disabilities or just kids in general, right? Just to kind of follow your dreams.
People in general, man.
Yeah, and no matter
everybody.
I guess so, yeah. And no matter what you face, no matter what you go through, you can do anything. And I always kind of have the mentality like my mind's not disabled or my heart's not disabled. So even though I have limitations, like don't complain about it, right? And
love it.
And keep moving forward. And yes, it might be harder than most people. Yes, it might take me a little longer than most people to do things, but just deal with it. And if you couldn't handle it, it wouldn't be given to you. And
I like that.
That's the
important.
kind of perspective I've tried to take on it.
Absolutely. And I think that's super powerful. That's something. Your perspective's so interesting to me, because, like you said, you were given something that you're now, like you said, turning into something that's, it's not so much, or it's more than just a brand and people representing. It's like it's taking over. You know, like when you see people, or I see people online, and it's here, or they're like, it's all positive. It's all positive. Yeah. It's insane. It's a movement. Yeah, it's a movement, man. It's crazy.
For me, like when you say that, it's so cool to kind of hear someone say that. But for me, it's not only a brand. It's like a lifestyle, right? And that's kind of how I try to market it, right? Yeah. Like it's just to be positive and be who you are, and don't change for anyone, because everyone is special and unique in their own way.
That's important.
And it's a way of life, right? And it's a lot more easier to be positive than it is to be negative, right?
It's way easier.
And I think if everyone had that mindset, it would make life a little bit easier for sure.
Right. But that's what I think is a problem. Is I think people believe the opposite, but they believe it's harder to be positive. It's more tired. It's almost like a lazy way out is to be negative about something. It's like, well, I can't do that, so then they don't have to try. Right? Where it's like, maybe I can. It's like, well, chances are you're right, right? It's that old saying, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, oh, I can't, but you haven't tried. It's like, try it out. Have a bit of optimism, faith in yourself, like you said, all right? Believe in yourself, and that's step one to whatever you want. So, I think that's super cool, man. Wow. Now, I have it on good record and good authority that you are an animal in the gym.
Oh, yeah.
I have multiple friends of mine who know you, and they say exactly that. I've never personally seen you in the weight room. I also know we train at different places.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, man. What's your mentality like when it comes to personal health, physical fitness, movement, stuff like that?
Well, I started it when I was in university. And I started it when I was in high school, and then I kind of took a break a little bit. But first year university, I got a trainer, and then I kind of fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. But now I'm at T2 because it's close to my store and different things like that. But for me, working out is it's like my sport kind of thing. And that's what I love to do. It helps me be a little more independent, more mobile, more flexible, stronger, obviously. And I always I don't really care what people come up to me all the time saying like I'm an inspiration. I'm just trying to get what people take for granted, you know. And there's a saying, I think The Rock always says it, but be the hardest worker in the room, right? And that's kind of what I try to do, and that's the kind of the mentality that I have. And for me, one of my favorite quotes is, "Don't complain about something that you have the ability to change." So that's why I kind of go to the gym every single day. Cause I know I won't be able to be perfect, but if I do exercises and I get stronger, I can better my situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
For me, when I kind of think about it, I didn't have a choice to be born like this. I was just born like this, and I have to accept it, right? And see the positives out of everything. But it's my choice to get stronger. It's my choice to eat better. Right. It's not my choice that I'm like this, but it's my choice if I want to have a 6-pack or 8-pack. You know,
oh yeah, dude.
It's my choice to do one more rep instead of leaving early. You know, and I think it's. For me, it's a healthier lifestyle. And I kind of joke around all the time, but I try to be less crippled and less crippled every day.
Nice.
And that's kind of what I try to do.
Nice. That's a really good approach to it, man, for sure. Yeah. Now, I'm curious about though is how do you sustain your positive energy? Does it get exhausting?
I'm just like every other human being. I think you're never gonna be positive every single day, or you're gonna have crappy days sometimes. But I think just to have maybe a positive overview, right? And sometimes those bad days, you're never gonna have the perfect day every day. But sometimes those bad days or bad situations allow you to kind of learn from them, and then your next day can be better, right? Mm-hmm. And always try to improve and learn and adapt. And I think. I don't think it's ever exhausting, but I do feel the pressure a little bit to be my best self all the time, and obviously you're not going to be able to do so. But when you think about it, every time someone comes into my store, maybe they see me for the first time, so I feel my first impression has to be good, right? And 100%. So I don't feel it's tiring to be positive all the time, because I try to be positive and a good person all the time, but I sometimes I find it hard to be my best self all the time, or because we're all human and we all slip up all the time, but you always want to be a lead by example and that sort of thing. So because when I don't want to kind of repeat myself, but like I was saying, everyone kind of sometimes people have a really high expectation of you, and you just don't want to let them down. So that's kind of what I find a hard time with. That you always want to give a good impression all the time.
Right, and that pressure sometimes can get to you.
Yeah, a little bit.
So do you have a form, or even the gym might be your form of it, a form of maybe meditation, or a way that you relax, chill out, so you're calm your mind, you're able to kind of remove yourself a bit from the stresses, and then you're able to come back in with more energy?
Yeah, I think the gym, like you were saying, I think the gym is the place that I'm able to kind of zone out, but I think my mind is always thinking of of things, whether what I need to do during the day or what I need to accomplish or this and that. But I don't think my brain is ever like turned off, and there's always something going, and that's kind of maybe the downside of having a business and being kind of a one-man show, so to say. There's always different aspects to kind of worry about, but definitely if I had to pick one place where I can like just like zone out and kind of not think about it and turn my brain off a little bit, I think it would be the gym.
And you prefer to go in the mornings before work or after?
Yeah, no, definitely in the morning, because I find it kind of sets your day, right? And if you have a good workout, you just keep that momentum going. Or if you didn't have a good workout, it's like, shit, I gotta pick my socks up and go, right? And I think just it kind of sets me in a routine. Like I go to the gym in the morning, and then I work, and then I go home and maybe do a little more work and do it all over again. But I'm a really routine guy, and that's kind of what I like to do.
Right, good building needs structure, and so I like that. I like that a lot, though. Now, because I'm curious, obviously our weight workouts are different. Like I'm trained to compete in jiu-jitsu, right? But what's your typical weight, like strength training workout like?
What I do like every day, guys?
Yeah.
What I really like to run a lot. I have a walker, so I do a lot of running. I do a lot of body weight stuff like squats and push-ups and different things like that. And I abs and like every day is kind of different, but I try to do. Sometimes I try to do like a 1,000 rep workout at least a couple times a week. So I pick like 10 exercises or 5 exercises. 10 exercises being 100 reps at a time, or 5 exercises 200, and I try to run almost every day, because I find like doing cardio, it gets my heart going, and then like because ultimately I want to try to walk better, and if I don't walk, then I can't improve that, right? So I always try to run as much as possible and different things like that. But and then I do research sometimes and try different exercises, and obviously some I have to adapt to it, because I would have a hard time with, but it's just a learning process, right? And whatever I kind of feel like doing that day, and different, like what I'm feeling, or if I did a lot of it that day, or if I'm sore from a different workout, then I try to do something else. But usually I don't really plan anything out. Whatever I feel like doing that day, then I do it. But I always make sure to do squats every day, because I like that feeling of like having my legs like strong. Because even when I do transfers and stuff, like from the bathroom, or when I get dressed, or taking a shower or whatever, like getting in and out, sometimes like I like having like my legs feeling like that, because like they feel strong, and then everything is that much easier. Like because if I don't work out for a long period of time, when you work out and you feel really sore, like I feel like that if I don't work out. Oh wow! So it's kind of like the opposite.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah, so I always have to keep going, and I try to do a lot of stretches as well, and different things like that. But I like doing a lot of like dumbbell stuff, and just to do things that are mobile, and the thing I like about the gym, I can get out of my chair and do different things and move around, right?
That's probably nice.
And stuff like that. So I'm not always confined to the wheelchair, so it's good.
So a few minutes ago, you mentioned something, and I want you to elaborate a bit more on it, if you don't mind. Things that we take for granted every day.
Yeah.
I'm curious, because I've had friends of mine tell me, who are in different scenarios than you, where they're born all the same level of optimism, right? They're all like, it's crazy the perspectives they have, but anyways, they tell me what we take for granted every day that they need help to do. And I'm curious what yours are. Like, what do we take for granted every day that's very difficult?
To be honest, I never really thought of it like that, but like, I don't know, like people are able to get up and you can just walk, For me, like, I can't. Well, I can, but I would fall a bunch of times.
I can, but I was just gonna.
Yeah, I won't get very far. But like, even like getting dressed,
Yeah.
Like I do everything by myself. It just takes me longer, you know.
Yeah.
And like you can slip on a pair of shoes. It takes me like a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
And like a new pair of shoes, it might like I try to get easy shoes to put on, but like just different things like that, like stuff that takes people like seconds, it takes me like minutes or longer, you know. So just different things like that. But the most important part for me is like I never feel sorry for myself. Like I'm just grateful that I can do it. I know it takes me longer than most people to do something, but just just deal with it and it's okay. And I think what I've kind of learned is don't compare yourself to others and just run your own race, so to say, and do your own thing and at your own pace, and eventually we're gonna all get it done. Just we all have different ways to do it.
Yeah. Does that get hard to do? Because I'll find I'm guilty of it. I can assume everyone is. Find yourself on social media and you start comparing, but you see like people who have. I just got up and changed and just hit record again.
Yeah.
Like now that you said right away after to answer my question, you said you'd fall a bunch of times doing something that I don't even think about. So I'm curious, does that, how is that like trying not to compare yourself to others? Is that tough, or do you have like a way of shutting it off?
It definitely is, and like I was talking about this with some of my best buddies, and we had this conversation a lot. Like
Nice.
I see like everyone is different, right? Because even my best friends they're getting married, they're having kids, or they have their own houses and stuff like that. And then like I'm not anywhere near that, but they're like, Ryan, you have like this really successful business.
Yeah, dude.
None of us have that, you know. But like everyone has their own thing, right? And we might be like advanced in other ways than other people, right? I think just like we are who we are, and we gotta deal with it and make the most out of every situation, see the positive out of everything. And maybe social media, it could be a blessing, but it could be a curse at the same time. I don't think there's everyone posts all their bad days. Whenever you scroll on social media, it's usually like a highlight of their life or something going on that's pretty fun or different things like that. You don't really see the bad days, right? So it's kind of like a highlight reel of your life. You don't really see what else is going on.
Yeah, you don't see the breakups, the no text backs,
the
weight gain. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. So I'm curious. You have a very powerful brand in the terms of your positivity and everything, right? How do you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, obviously, but how do you juggle that line between letting loose with the boys, having fun with your friends and stuff, and then keeping that positive representation, even for like a public eye, because everybody knows who you are.
Yeah,
in the city,
sometimes I slip up. I think it's human. Like, and I'm 27 years old, so like I'm still young, and I still like to have fun with my buddies, but I think you know I have a really good group of friends, and I have so many friends that like we all have each other's back, right? And I don't think we've ever done anything really stupid or anything like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like I don't know, I think it all comes down to like surrounding yourself with the best people possible. And yeah, you like to have fun, but yeah, when I kind of understand that I have I don't. It's kind of funny to say, but like have a little bit of a reputation to uphold. But
100%.
But it's. I think I'm just being me, right? And I want to be as real as possible. And I think I try to have the best of both worlds. And I think what I do in business or what I do with the brand, it's a lot of me. So I don't really have to change. And if I I don't really see a problem with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Fair. I mean, if you surround yourself with the right people, they obviously know as well that the brand is key to your success and your livelihood and your lifestyle. That it's not anything they want to jeopardize. I can imagine.
No.
Well, that's smart. But so I think a year ago this time, and this is why when I saw you today, I was like, it's nice to finally meet you in person, because I've seen you in person many a times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's always like either far into the room or it's like I know, hey, what's up? But Bell Excellence Awards business. You won 2019 Young Entrepreneur of the Year, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, congratulations, bro.
Oh, thank you. That was a while ago. It seems like.
Yeah, I think it was like just over a year.
I don't like those awards. I think I like them, but I get too emotional. Like it's an honor, but like as soon as I talk about like my family and friends, I break down. I don't know, they're just important people to me, and I just want to make them as proud as possible, I guess, and I just get emotional with that kind of stuff, because I know I wouldn't be where I am without them. So,
right. How does that make you feel then when you? Because I want to know. Take me through that process. Like they told you were nominated. What?
Yeah, you know what? I've it wasn't my first time. I got nominated in 2017. I didn't win, and then I just kept working harder and harder, and then and the 2019 came around, or maybe it was 2018, 2019, one of those. But you don't even know.
Right.
If you win, you just like show up at the dinner, and then if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
Wow.
So I didn't really know. To be honest, I never think I'm gonna win these things. So I never really have like a speech planned. And if I do win, it's like I gotta wing it. And if
really, you don't have a speech plan, nothing.
Not really, because like I don't know. I don't think like I would win these things. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like.
That's
modest.
weird to me. Because if you're an optimistic guy, but you're like, nah, I'm not gonna win. Like that, it's kind of humbling.
Yeah,
almost,
I've always been like that. You know, I don't know, like, and you look at the other people like you're up against. Like these guys are sweet. Like you know, and like they're great people.
It's a good group. Like I think Comrie was nominated. Like Karim.
Yeah.
And then my good buddies. Well, one good buddy, John Sessions as well.
Yeah, Tim and John.
Tim and Sessions.
Awesome.
Yeah, John's been on the show. Shout out to him. Yeah. So man.
Yeah, they're great. I used to have like clothes in their store, and that's one of those stores I did consignment when I did when I was doing consignment. Yeah, they're awesome for sure.
Yeah, they're really good dudes, and they patched my bike up actually that I have in the back of the gym. Yeah,
cool.
Thanks to them, I'm able to ride again. So shout out, boys. Appreciate your airtime and work and what you do.
There you go.
It's all love. Yeah, but that's yeah. So I was curious about, because I always wonder what those are like. Because I haven't won one yet. One day maybe we'll see if business ever becomes something I want to focus on or whatever. But I find those. I remember parts of your speech, and I'm trying to remember key. I can't remember what you closed with. I can't remember.
Probably crying.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. Like, I just get really emotional, and I feel like it sucks. But like, I don't know. I don't know why. I try not to. But it's just like overpowering, I guess. I'm just so happy, and like, I don't know. Like I said, like, if I didn't have to talk about my family and friends, like, I'd be okay. But like, I think that's why my life is so good, because like, I've never, with my parents, my brothers, with all my buddies, they never made, like, my parents always say, like, Ryan's the only disabled person who thinks he's not actually disabled. And
nice.
I think that's because of my friend group, and because of my family, and I think that's why, like, because they help me out so much whenever I need help. If I call anyone, they're always there at a drop of a hat, right? And that's super important to me, and having those kind of relationships. Like, one of my best buddies, we've been best friends since grade 2, and it's been so cool to kind of see him grow and keep doing what he's doing, and he's in the finance industry. He helps me with all my finances and stuff.
Oh, cool! Shout out to him.
Yeah, Tyler, one of my best buddies.
Nice.
So
that's
and
awesome.
And some of my buddies, like, everyone's doing so well. Like, some are police officers, lawyers, and electricians, and everyone's doing their own thing, and
Nice.
and it's awesome to kind of see each other grow and
That's sweet.
and
Yeah.
accomplishing what we're accomplishing, I guess.
That dude. That's
Mm.
awesome. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you guys are all killing it. So.
Trying to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man,
It's good to
shows.
have. It's good to have that kind of support and,
Mhm.
and those kind of
Absolutely.
friendships to lean on.
Absolutely. Now, kind of like finish off. I'm curious. What is one overall? It could be either quote or lesson or story or something that kind of like the biggest lesson you've learned so far going through all this, because I feel like you've been through a lot, but you've also worked your ass off to get to where you are.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you haven't come this far to come this far is a good one. Because sometimes you get like discouraged and stuff
Mhm.
doesn't go as planned, but you just gotta kind of roll with the punches, right?
Right.
And kind of always like you're like to always make sure that your expectations don't exceed your efforts, right? And you always have to have good efforts in anything that you do, and try your best at everything that you do. And if it works out, if it works out. If it doesn't, then just reevaluate and keep pushing forward, right?
Nice. Right.
Mm.
So, I'm curious. One last thing. Was it your idea, and do you do it with everybody? Where if they go in your store, you take the photo with them, you share whatever, and it kind of spreads the energy.
Yeah, that was
Genius idea.
yeah. It's something when I first started with the brand, and I wanted to be different than other brands and stuff like that, and I just started with like my friends and people that I knew, and if I knew them and they were wearing a shirt or they would buy a shirt, like, can you change into the shirt? We can take a quick photo.
Nice.
And like I just like to this day, it's not any different. Like I don't care how many likes it gets. I just want to make that person's day.
Right.
And like
100%.
spread positive affirmation and and spread like to make them feel good. You know, to make them feel like they're the person they are. And that's what it's all about, I think. And wearing the brand, it's all about kind of feeling good and feeling good as a person. And I think trying to live your best self, and that's kind of what it was with the photos. Is I wasn't really trying to pump up people's tires. I just wanted to make them feel good, right?
Right.
And it kind of took on a life of its own, and it's fun to be able to take photos and share and see who, and like even if I'm not in the photo, people send it to me and they go all over the world, like you were mentioning.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool too. And
Wow.
it's been pretty neat in that regards. But I think that's one of my favorite things about the brand is taking photos with people, getting to meet new people, building relationships. Like having the store, I get to meet people every day, and they become like friends now, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a really cool community that you've built, and everybody in the community loves it and knows exactly what it's about, and it's sick.
Oh,
It's
thank
cool,
you.
bro.
I appreciate
It's
it.
so cool to see. So, I think that seems like everything.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, how you feeling?
Yeah, good. Is there any other things you want to touch on?
I'm trying to think. I'm sure we'll do a round 2 in the future. But I'm trying to think. Not that I have off my head. Man,
No?
I kind of touched on a lot of it. I love that you choose to do. I love that fitness is such a huge part of your life too. Like
Yeah.
that's super cool. And just everything you represent is very, very empowering. And I've never heard of anybody that I know or anybody in this community making such an impact as you have, and it's amazing,
Thank
dude.
you. I
It's
appreciate
amazing. So, brother, I appreciate your time, your
Thank
energy.
you so much for having me.
Yeah,
It means a lot.
Man, that means a lot. I appreciate everything you do, and I can't wait to see you again, man, and see
Yeah,
what you're able to
likewise.
do. So, awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time. Positive Inception's Instagram will be in the description below, the website, everything. You want to fire off your address or whatever for the store and stuff to...
Yeah, it's just the address is 1212 LaSalle. A little plug, I guess, and Facebook, it's the same thing. The Positive Inception, and Instagram, the Positive Inception. But Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Yeah, brother.
It means so much.
Anytime. Yeah.
And hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. So thanks, guys, and thank you.
No problem.